So, since I do alliterations, I should do one for you, don't you think?
Yes. Yes.
I think I'll do one about bacon, since we're talking about food. Peter Percival Patterson had a pet pig named Porky. This pet pig Porky loved pie. He liked peach pie, pineapple pie, papaya pie, pineapple pie, and minced tarts. Peter Percival Patterson's pet pig Porky ate so much pie, do you know what he did? He popped. Now let me slow that down for you. Peter Percival Patterson had a pet pig named Porky. This pet pig Porky loved pie. He liked pie for breakfast, pie for lunch, and pie for supper. Peter Percival Patterson's pet pig Porky ate peach pie, pineapple pie, papaya pie, pumpkin pie, peanut butter pie, and minced tarts. Peter Percival Patterson's pet pig Porky ate so much pie, do you know what he did? He popped. So now, personal it is. Summertime, and the living is easy. I thought it was. I was 9 years old, and my parents took us in the summer on road trips. Now, our road trips were not typical road trips like most people think of it. We had an extended Ford van. It was red with a white stripe. Inside, this was before, of course, seat belts. They had taken out the front passenger seat, and in place of that, they had put a table that was screwed into the floor, so that while we were traveling, you could actually sit there and play games or color or eat. That was great. There was also a ice box. Do you know what an ice box is? It's a box where you put a block of ice in it, and underneath it you can keep your drinks cold, and you can keep the vegetables and the dip, all those good things inside of it cold. And that traveled with us. Now behind that one seat, we'd taken out the very back seat, and my mom had put down a mattress on the floor. But wait, there's more. She had also taken these metal C-hooks and screwed them to the side of the walls in the back of the van. And she had taken these long metal pipes and attached to it canvas, so that when she hooked them into the hooks on either side, there were these hammocks. And as kids, we thought that was great, because while we were traveling, we could lay on those hammocks and look out the window and see things. And that was extra nice when we went through Las Vegas at night. And we got to see all the lights. That was awesome. But my favorite part of these road trips were the nights when we pulled off the road into one of the campsites, and Dad would start the fire, and he would give us all sticks, except my little brother, he was only 3. And they would clean the sticks, with a knife, and they'd make them nice and clean. And Mom would take one of those cans of biscuits and give us a biscuit, and you would wrap it around the stick and make doughboys. And you put them over the fire and you cook them. Now, if you were really good, they were nice and brown and toasty, and they were cooked all the way through. Sometimes you weren't so good and you burned them, but you still ate them anyway. And on another stick, you cooked your hot dog. Now, sometimes you would take the dough off the stick and you put the hot dog right down into the middle, and you'd eat it that way. So, bread and meat together, that was great. Sometimes it was butter and jam, and that was good too. But as good as all that was, nothing was as good as dessert. Now, you guys are probably thinking s'mores. No. My mother did one better than that. They would stop at the store as we were going in, and they would pick up a half gallon of ice cream, and a box of cake cones. Now, there were 4 of us. Me, I was the oldest, and then I had 3 younger brothers. And she would give each one of us a cake cone filled with ice cream. Now, the rule was that as long as you had a cone, you could have ice cream. So how many things of ice cream do you think we had? As many as we could eat. Now, there was a technique to this. My little brother Michael, he would just, at 3, he would just eat the whole thing. And then he was done because he was little. But my other 2 brothers, David and Gene, it was kind of a competition. So here's how it goes. You'd fill up the ice cream cone, she'd eat it. One brother would eat all the ice cream off the top and eat part of the cone so that he could tend it back faster and get more ice cream. The other brother, he was like me, and we would take our time and enjoy it until it started dribbling down our arms. Then we'd have to lick it off, and it was all over our hands. And then when you got to the cake top, you wanted as much ice cream inside. So you get your tongue in there, and then you start doing that, and you go around and try to get as much as you can. Fingers didn't work too good because it slid right off your fingers. That wasn't good. And then you hand it back, and Mom would fill it up. And this would go on 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 times, but not very often. And she would just keep filling the cones, and my dad would just sit there and smile. But what happens when you get to the bottom and it's been there for a while and it starts to get soggy? Now, my brother Gene, well, you know what? He just, he had a favorite way. He would bite the end off, and then he would suck out the guts. And then he would take it and cram it in his face and eat it all up. And Mother stood there with a washcloth to wash it off. David, on the other hand, he would take his and he would make sure that he got everything out, and then he would squish it into a ball like he did his bread and butter. He'd make it into this little bitty ball, and then he'd throw it in the fire and it would sizzle. Me, on the other hand, I would wait till it turned into a gelatinous mass in my hand and squeeze the juices in my mouth and then finish it off and wipe my face. And that was really good. And then it was time for bed. Mom would take the washcloth and wipe us all down and send us to the tent. And they had taken the mattress out, of course, out of the car and put it in the tent so we could sleep on it. But the best part of all that was, in the end, we knew we were safe and we'd had a good time because we had Mama and Daddy standing by.